Hey there. I'm Michelle Kuipers, and I just want to tell you that I am in the midst of, or just starting actually, a 14-day challenge. I am committed to doing 14 live videos every day. And so I'm going to need your help in just having you give me a little love, and a few likes might be nice. But of course, only if the content is good. So I'm a little nervous because I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. But I do know that for today, I'm going to tell you about some meaningful things, best practices you can do to have good accounting records. And why do we need good accounting records? Because it's going to make you more profitable. It's going to help you. You could get better financing if you have good records. And then the other thing is it's going to reduce your stress at tax time. As you know, taxes were extended because of the CARES Act or COVID and so on. So July 15th is our D-Day. So I just wanted to give you best practices. I've got about a few tips, and I'm just going to give you 3 today. I'll leave you wanting a little bit more because accounting is such an exciting topic. Okay, so the first best practice, for those of you using, most of this will refer to QuickBooks, but for those of you that do entries, you need to make complete entries. So I have seen a number of people, hey Yara and Susan, I've seen a number of people make their entries. They just simply put in gas station and the amount. And that's just not best practices. So what this means is that for your own business, when you set up QuickBooks, you should have all the details: company name, the EIN number, the address, the DBA, whatever it is, it should be in there, because all that's going to come out on your reporting. Not your EIN, but you know what I mean. All that will already be filled out when you have forms that you have to submit. So you should have that completely filled out. The other thing is for your customers, your vendors, employees, fill out all that information. That's the other thing that people have a tendency to do, is just a quick add, and then you don't go back and fill the rest out, and that gets pretty messy. Now, that does not mean that every gas station needs to have the full name and address and so on. Because it's just not that terribly important. A lot of times what I will do is, if it's gas stations, then I will have a vendor called gas station, and then in the description I will put Shell or Exxon or what have you. Now if you go to the same one over and over, go ahead and put that in. Put in, you know, Shell Beltway 8 or whichever it is. The vendors, as far as if they're contractors, please get this information at the beginning. Don't wait until you're having to create a 1099 in January and you're trying to get their information. I generally tell my clients to not pay a contractor until they have given you their W-9. Now, obviously, there are some that you're not going to get that from, those that don't need it. But for those that you know, you're going to be issuing a 1099, get their tax ID number, get their address, all that information at the beginning, and it makes your end of year process so much simpler. The other thing is, when you're entering your accounts, please go ahead and enter the category, the detail type. You know, is it an expense? Do this correctly. Because there are a lot of things that you can do that would prevent you from being able to get this done. It would prevent, if you, for example, assigned an expense as an income, or along those lines, if you said just assigned the wrong type of account, then it's going to make a big mess of your account. So it's important to get that done correctly. The other best practices is connect your accounts to the bank accounts. You know, your bank accounts and QuickBooks accounts need to connect, and they need to be talking to each other. That should be bank account, credit cards, PayPal, and your merchant processing accounts. Those should all be connected into QuickBooks for easy download of information. The first time you connect an account, you'll generally be bringing in probably 90 days is usually what QuickBooks grabs, but you can adjust that. So you can, pull in more or less depending on what information you need, and talk to your bookkeeper, your accountant, as to how many days back you should go. If your company just started, then you want everything. But you might just want to go to the beginning of the year, that type of thing. Let's see, the other thing. Oh, and by doing this, it's going to save you a lot of time at the end of month when you're reconciling, because all the information that comes in is the date, the description, and the amount. So that comes in and you don't have to type that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is match. Now, a lot of people, this is real important. You don't want to depend on what the bank says. So if you're not making your entries and you're waiting until you download into QuickBooks, you're basically just believing what the bank says. And I can't tell you how many times I have found that the bank is wrong. So you need to go ahead and enter your transactions. You can set memorized transactions up. You can, so that you do very little entering, but it's important. If you're going to make a deposit, you're going to, take a picture, go ahead and enter that deposit into QuickBooks, so that then when you download from the bank, it automatically matches, but at least you've entered it and you know what's correct. Now, if the bank, a lot of times the bank won't come through. That's fine. You're not going to go back and tell the bank, wait, I made a charge. But they might be different amounts. So this is why it's important. I have gotten a lot of things where the bank will charge something, or they'll overcharge just as much as they undercharge. They will overcharge something or type it in incorrectly. So you want to catch those things, and it is worth it. It's good accounting practice for you to enter things. If you write a check or you do an online purchase, enter it at the time that you do the purchase, not waiting for the bank. But when you match to the bank, it's going to come through. It'll match automatically to what you've already entered, and it's just going to make for better accounts. Let's see, is there something else I wanted to mention? Yeah, it's going to make your reports. Oh, and this is going to prevent overdrawing. So if that's a problem, it's one thing to look at. Anyway, so these were 3 best practices. There will be more to come in the future as I've got this 14-day challenge. So who knows what I'm going to be talking about. I'll figure something out. If there is anything you want to hear about, let me know. And yeah, and if you like this information and you want more best practices, drop me an email or a message and I'll be happy to get you some more. So thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.